You're basically saying, don't work 12 hours a day straight, sit at your laptop. You're saying, go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
get off your phone for a half hour. Take a break.
I think it's important for the longevity. The input you're putting in doesn't always equal the output. So make sure that like, hey, am I doing the most important thing?
I'm Tom Ward, and over the last couple years, I've had the chance to sit down with some of the biggest celebrities and influencers in the world. What I've always found most fascinating is the stories of the businesses that they've built behind the scenes. On this show, you'll get an inside look of what it takes to build a successful business from some of the biggest celebrities, business people, and up-and-coming entrepreneurs in the world. This is The Tom Ward Show.
Welcome to the Tom Ward Show, where I interview the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, and I have such an entrepreneur right here, Taylor Offer. He started a socks brand, Feet Clothing, while in college as a side hustle, and has grown it to a $10 million a year business. He's Forbes 30 under 30, so that gives him some street cred as well. Welcome, it's good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I've watched a lot of your content and been a fan for a while, so excited to be here with you.
Thanks. You know, I always do a lot of prep for these things, and I love your origin story. And Feet wasn't the first clothing brand you started. Like, you're an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. You had, I believe, 3 businesses before that in college?
Yep.
What were they?
So I was always the kid who couldn't really pay attention in class. I never fit within systems well. I always looked at the world in a different way and would always question why. And then something really empowering started happening when I started my first company, because I realized I didn't have to fit within a system. Well, the first thing I did when I was 16, I was a big Los Angeles Clippers fan, and I didn't have any money to go to the games, but I'd go there and scalp tickets. So I'd just buy tickets for a certain price. People would be walking in, and they'd say, you have any extra tickets? They'd give me their extra tickets for free, because I'd just be like, come on, please, I'm a kid, I want to get in. I would sell those tickets, buy more tickets. By the end of it, almost every game I was sitting courtside. I would just flip tickets until I got down to first row, second row, third row, and just be flipping tickets. That taught me a lot about value of assets and timing. Game started at 7:30. Mm-hmm. At 7 o'clock, tickets were really valuable. At 7:30, they're worth nothing.
100%.
And so it's a depreciating asset really quickly. I learned that at 16, and you just learn kind of the value of these things.
Managing your inventory.
Of course, all that, because I didn't want to be stuck with 5 tickets at 7:30, so you're trying to flip them for different prices. And it just taught me how personality in business matters, and just being personable and likable. I was successful in that because I would go up to people and smile. Hey, do you have any extra tickets? There was other scalpers who didn't look with a smile. They look sketchy, and they're like, tickets, come on, give me your tickets.
Yeah.
No one gives it to them. And I'm just like, come on, please, I really want to go to the game. I'm wearing the jersey, I'm a fan. So that was super empowering at 16 to me, which was like, whoa, you can kind of morph the world you want to build versus going in a system that might not fit for you.
And you've got to be I've been in sales my whole life, so personality does matter, and asking questions matter, and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing you can't teach is the hustle. And you've got to hustle to scalp tickets. That is not an easy job. And to be able to pull that off at 16 there's a lot of competition. There's people doing that already. There's people doing it now who are very good and make a living at it. Yep. And here's you at 16 like, I'll give it a shot. Why can't I do it?
I think it's interesting when you mention hustle, because it's like hustle comes from passion. And if you're passionate about something, and you hear entrepreneurs say or different content creators, whoever they are, saying it doesn't feel like work. It's fun. It's a game. It's a fun game you want to play. So I've been in times in business where I felt like I had to hustle and it wasn't feeling right. That just means I was in the wrong role and doing the wrong thing. Because it should be fun. It should be a really fun game you want to play. Being successful at something just means it gives you the right to do more of it. It means you're going to do more of it. So whatever it is, you're successful. And that's why you can't try to be successful with something you don't like, because success just equals you're going to do more of that. So if you're successful in these interviews, for example, you're going to do more. So you better like them. Yeah. If I'm successful at making clothing, I better like clothing, because it just means I'm going to be making a lot more clothing. Yeah. So whatever you're doing and that you're striving for success in, you should like it, because if you're successful, that means you're going to do it more and more and more.
What were the other businesses you started in college? So were they failures? Or did they all succeed?
I don't use the word failure.
Okay, was it a learning experience?
They're learning lessons.
Yeah.
And once you shift your mindset on that, you can't lose. And that's kind of the mindset I got early on. When I was scalping the tickets, go up to every single person. If they say no, then maybe it was on me. Maybe I didn't approach them right. Maybe they didn't have tickets. Whatever it was, no failure, just learning lessons. Then you're playing with house money, and it's a really fun game you can't lose. Either you win or you learn. So I like to set up these win or learn situations. Mm-hmm. The first business when I joined, I went to college freshman year. It was called Market Loco. So essentially buying and selling tickets, mini fridges, all the little things. It's a Craigslist for colleges.
Okay.
It made sense, right? We were in Amherst, Massachusetts, the small little town, 30,000 kids in our school. There was no marketplace for people to buy and sell things. So I created that, tried scaling it too quickly, realized you need revenue in a business. Exactly. So shut that one down. Shortly after that, joined a fraternity. This is my freshman year. And I remember the first week they made me buy a shirt for $15. And it was like a shirt that says, fraternity, blah, blah, blah. And then the next week was another one for $15. And I was like, why? I can't spend this much money every week on a different t-shirt.
I'm getting scammed here.
Yeah, what's going on? So I figured out how to make the shirts. I learned I could make them for like $3 to $5 and sell them to the fraternity for $15. So I did that with my fraternity, and they ordered 200 shirts. I'd sell them for $15. I made them for $5. It was $10 margin on 200 shirts, $2,000 cash. I was like, whoa.
And it's a lot of money when you're in college.
Insane.
Yeah.
So then I went door to door every single fraternity and sorority at my school, picked up more accounts. Then I drove cross country from Los Angeles to Massachusetts, stopped at Arizona, Arizona State, Texas, LSU, Auburn, went door to door every fraternity and sorority and says, hey, I can make your shirt cheaper because I didn't have a middleman. Scaled that business really well because it was a very profit business. That being said, it was custom. And what I learned from that business and where I failed was we started going and, for example, we'd make a shirt for Harvard. And it would come and they would say, this is burgundy, not crimson, we're crimson. It wasn't color matching exactly. And I'm like, burgundy, crimson, so close.
Yeah.
In custom, there's a million ways you could do something wrong, and there's one way you could do it right. And when you go wrong, you have to refund the order. So I started to refund orders and go out of pocket on things, and I ended up losing some money on some orders. That's why I was like, I don't want this business. I don't want to be custom. Great learning experience. I want to build a brand. And that's what I met Parker Burr.
And pause right there. So this is my favorite part of your story, right? You've got the t-shirt business. I think at the time it was successful, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You're in an entrepreneurship class. You're kind of flexing on your success. Yeah. And here comes your future partner, Parker, who goes, that's good, but I make custom jerseys for lacrosse players, and I do $1 million a year in sales. Did that humble you real quick?
Well, I thought I was a big shot on campus because I was making 25 grand profit a semester, which is nothing in college. Like that just when beers are $3 or $2, like 25 grand, it's insane.
And cash.
Yeah. So that was just a lot of money.
And you should flex on that success.
It was great. So I was in an entrepreneurship class and I was talking about that. This guy Parker, who's a lot more humble than me, was like, oh, that's cool. I do custom stuff too. I do custom lacrosse uniforms. I was like, what do you mean custom lacrosse uniforms? Interesting. And he could tell I wasn't really that interested. And then he's like, I've done over $1 million this year. So he's doing $1 million a year selling custom lacrosse uniforms. So he's making these crazy printed lacrosse uniforms.
Okay.
And then every one of these crazy socks to match the uniforms. He's like, I'm playing around with this idea for socks. It's called Feet. It's called Feet Socks. It's this fun idea. We'll make bright printed socks. What do you think? And I was like, let's go. Let's go right now. That night we went to TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, bought every pair of white Nike and Adidas socks we could find. Press designed, it looked like a big panini machine. It was a heat press, made 200 pairs of socks. The next day we sold all 200 pairs in front of like the dining hall to college kids at $10 a pair.
What was special about them? Did they have logos?
Yeah, so we take the Nike socks and we put like really fun patterns on them. So we put pineapples or like palm trees or waves or like something cool on it.
Okay.
So it's like this trend of bright printed socks. In senior year, we sold 20,000 pairs of those socks out of our backpack. And that's kind of what initiated Feet.
What kind of revenue does that generate? 200 grand?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think there's some lessons in there. I mean, you've got a lot of lessons in your story, but especially to the young entrepreneur watching this, right, who hasn't had success right off the bat, and he's tried a couple things that's quote unquote failed, or as you would say, have been learning experiences. Yeah. What kept you going? Did you always just have a belief in yourself that, okay, this one, the shopping site for college campus kids didn't work, but I know this will? Where did you get that persistence and confidence from that it would work?
Yeah, so it's I don't think it's confidence as much as like it's just fun for me. It's just fun. It's just like I don't really, once you position your mind to not care about failure, and then you learn how to set up the businesses in a way where you limit your financial downside because you could lose a lot of money in business. But if you could set it up in that way where you limit your financial downside, and if you have the energy for it and it's fun, like go do it. Because no matter who you are, there's gonna be times where you have self-doubt. There's gonna be times where it's really difficult. There's gonna be times you wanna quit. So many times along that journey, along every journey, I've been like, this is like, especially when you see, like in the past year, you see people just popping up a crypto company and making billions of dollars. You're like,
NFTs, and
all
you're
this
like, I
stuff.
missed
I'm like,
it,
I'm in
yeah.
the wrong business. I'm hustling. I'm making real product. You know, the investor market, they really go towards software and SaaS. They don't love
tech.
physical goods as
Yep.
much as tech. And I'm like, what? Like, these are crazy. And there's you doubt yourself all the time along the journey. But it's just, if you enjoy it, then you're not going to stop. And the best things come from pushing through past that point of wanting to give up.
Does having a co-founder like Parker help with that? If you're by yourself, you just have the voice in your head of self-doubt and you're never going to make it, or we're losing too much money. But did you guys calm each other down? Like, come on, Parker, don't freak out. It's going to be okay. You know, this is a bad run, but, you know, we got this for next month. Did you guys kind of, you know, balance each other?
Yeah, I think it's been the most important thing in the journey is having a co-founder. And a lot of people ask, how do you find a good co-founder?
Yeah.
It's luck. It's just luck. Because I got an amazing co-founder. And I've seen people who haven't had that. You don't have that support system. You don't have that accountability buddy. And it's lonely. It's scary. You're making a lot of really intense decisions.
Every day.
On your
all
own.
Day.
And you just don't know what's right or wrong. You've no one to even bounce it off. You've no one you could even relate to because no one can understand your situation.
Yep.
So having a co-founder makes it so much fun. And it's just like, it's awesome. We can bounce things off each other. We both grow as people together. It's been amazing.
There's a lot of people, everyone wants to start a clothing brand, an apparel brand of some kind. And I interviewed John Varvatos, the men's fashion designer. I did Ryugi, the guy who created the streetwear brand Rude.
Yep.
And when I listen to their stories, I go, you've got to have rocks in your head to want to start a streetwear brand or come up with a new pair of jeans. That's like every pair of jeans has been created already. There's millions and millions out there. Why would yours work? What's so different about you? So the biggest struggle, it seems like, just as an outsider looking at the business, is how do you cut through the noise? You're just a regular guy or girl. You don't have a good Instagram following. You're just a normal person. You've got this idea for some kind of brand, you know, making dog t-shirts or funny ones or whatever you're going to do. How do you even get heard, or how do you get your message out there? How do you even let people know you're doing it? How do you sell it?
It's hard. It's really hard. And I'm not going to say it's easy because it's definitely not easy. And it takes that, it feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill forever. Eventually you get to the top of the hill and it starts to roll back down. But when you're pushing it up, you feel like it's never going to get to the top. And you have to be ready to really push that. Nobody starts off and just sells out instantly and is super excited. It's hard. My best advice is just be authentically you. So in the world where, you know, everyone tries to be similar with brands, just do something that you actually care about and that have a message you want to share to the world. And that's how you really make it authentic. And then if you actually care about it, guess what? If you don't sell 1 million units in your first day, you're not going to be down because you're say, hey, one person bought my shirt and that shirt means something so powerful and they're going to get it. And that's important to me.
You know, Ryugi was so funny. In case you don't know Rude, it's a premium streetwear brand. And he didn't sell a shirt for the first 3 months. So he bought one himself through the website just to make sure the website was functioning correctly. And that was his first sale. And it takes balls because, especially if you've got a premium brand out there, you go, okay, my shirt's worth $400 because that's who I am. That's what the company, it's going to be a premium brand. Well, when no one's paying $400 for it, it's hard not to go, well, I'll sell it for $30.
Of course.
More people will probably buy it at $30 than $400.
Of course, it's scary. And then you're also sitting on, you know, thousands of dollars of inventory that you sunken costs and you're paying to store it in a warehouse somewhere. Every day it's costing you money to store it. And you're in this position where, do I discount it to try to sell it? But that's hurting my brand. What do I do? And then you start looking at yourself and say, is this me? Is it a reflection of me? Mm-hmm. So the best thing for entrepreneurs is disconnect yourself from the business. The business is not an extension of you. So if you start going down that path, you're going to get very in a bad mental place. So
that's good advice.
Yeah, it's hard advice to keep, but because it's business, it's so emotional. It's your baby you're creating in the world. For someone, even I feel it. We just opened our store in Santa Monica.
Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But when someone walks in the store and looks around and goes, and walks out,
it hurts a little piece of your soul.
Of course. Right? I'm just like, like, do you know how much heart I put into that piece just for you to walk in and say, and walk out?
I've seen better.
Yeah. I'm just like, what? Get back in here. So that's difficult, but you have to have such a thick skin.
you recently changed your Feats brand's Instagram. What did you do? What was the theory behind that?
So we've changed that back because that was a learning lesson that didn't convert how we wanted to. The idea behind that was, the social media is so toxic. And I've seen the path. And to me, I have a very interesting perspective on it because I've lived and been around people with, hundreds of millions of followers. Yep. And these are some of my close friends that have tens of millions or millions of followers. They're not happy.
It's a job.
It's a horrible job.
Yeah.
It puts your brain in this spin cycle that you don't want to be in.
And you talked about not getting your personal wrapped into your business.
It's impossible.
With them, it's impossible because you are the business.
100%.
So if people don't like your video, they don't like you. And that's hard to wrap your head around.
And every day your performance it's shown in terms of views and likes and
comments. And everybody can see it.
Yeah, and it's not just creators though, it's people, right? Everyone. If you post a story and you think it's like a really cool thing and no one responds to it, you're kind of sad.
Yeah,
you post, you make a post, you're like, this interview, it was great, I crushed it. No one likes it.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
It's sad.
Yep.
It's really sad. I mean, so social media, it's designed to make us to be on it more, to be more uncomfortable at ourselves. So we want to go buy more things. I'm part of the problem, and I hated that. I really hated that.
What do you mean you were part of the problem?
A lot of our business was off Instagram ads.
Well, any clothing brand has to Instagram's the place to be.
Of course, but I don't want people on Instagram. People shouldn't be on Instagram. It's so bad for your mental health.
Yeah.
To me, it's like Instagram is what we're like in the 70s or 60s, whenever it was, smoking cigarettes. And everyone's like, oh, everyone does it. We don't know how bad it is till like way farther out.
True.
It is so bad for our mental health. All forms of social media, which is so hard because it makes us money and it makes us happy and gives us validation. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I switched away from the social media and I tried to go more basic on our page because I wanted to encourage our customers to be outside and to go journal, to go for a walk without your phone. It's scary that like any down second someone has, they open up their phone.
And I'm guilty of that too. I really have to be conscious of it.
Well, because it's meant to be addicting. Our brains are only like it's the scariest part is we're unconscious about it. We're unconscious. You have someone on their screen time, they're like, oh, it's maybe on Instagram 10 minutes a day. They check 2 hours.
Yeah.
Same thing with TikTok. I was watching TikTok. I only watched like 2 or 3 videos. It's 45 minutes later.
Dude, I interviewed the Hype House guys when they first broke, Chase Hudson and Thomas and Addison and all of them. And I think it was Thomas who said that. I was new to the TikTok world. I mean, they had it figured out. They were professionals. And I said, like, how long do people watch TikTok for? And he's like, I don't know, on average, probably 6-7 hours a day. And I almost fell out of my chair. I go, I don't do anything for 7 hours a day. Work, that's about it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's insane. Well, when you look at it like this, like if you sleep 8 hours a night, you have 16 hours in your day.
Okay.
And if you look at people's screen times, a lot of people have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. Yeah. Which is nuts. Like, where are we at as a human race where 10 hours a your day, you're like this on a device that's this big.
And missing everything else going
on. But also an algorithm that's feeding you things you're not in control. And it's shaping your brain. The most powerful thing is your mind. This is fully shaping your mind to whatever it wants to make, the algorithm could show a lot of these types of pants and make you think these pants are cool.
Yep.
It could show you a lot of political things and make you think some way that. It could show you a lot of lifestyle that, oh, that lifestyle is okay, or I should be living. Oh, their life's better than mine, so now I'm depressed now. Like, it messes up your brain. It's not in your best interest.
Well, you know what's funny? You talk about Instagram, and that is where you need to be as a brand. Instagram's the place, right?
Yeah.
But I was looking you up, and I saw somewhere you posted like LinkedIn's my favorite profile. I go, he's under 30. Who's on LinkedIn? And why bother? And I looked at you, and I think you had 130,000 followers on there. And you said it was your favorite platform, soon to be replaced by TikTok, which we'll talk about in a sec. But why LinkedIn?
Yeah, so I'm one of the most followed accounts on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I think from 2019 to 2021, I was one of the most viewed creators on the platform in terms of post views.
Okay.
What I found interesting about LinkedIn was, this is something I learned from in 2016. We were trying to grow our brand. We learned all these Viners all lived in one building, 1,600 Vines.
I've been there. I've done 10 interviews there.
Yeah, exactly. So all these kids with major followings live there. I learned about social media dynamics. So the way you scale on social media is you need a time with a platform deficient, a content deficient platform. So a content deficient platform. So a lot of these people came up on Vine where there wasn't enough content on the platform, so their content got pushed further. Mm-hmm. Versus a content saturated platform is a more mature platform like Instagram. Yep. And Instagram is content saturated. There's too much content.
And it's so hard to break through.
Your content's not even getting shown to your full following, let alone people outside of your following.
So how are you going to grow?
Exactly. So you need to find a content efficient platform like Instagram was in 2016, where the platform needs more content. So if your content's good, it will show to new people. LinkedIn in the past 3 years has been the most content efficient platform because everyone goes on all day. They scroll all day at work. They think they're working. Nobody posts. Everyone just is scrolling all day. And it's the only social media, people think it's not social media. Like, oh no, I'm working, I'm on LinkedIn. It's like,
I'm looking for connections.
Yeah, exactly. People are posting the same thing on LinkedIn that they're posting on other platforms. So I started posting on LinkedIn because I saw this massive opportunity. And the views, like every post started getting hundreds of thousands. Some got millions, 10 million plus views. And it's really awesome because it was a platform that was so content efficient. So I was coming up with content and just really scaling on that, and it was a great ride.
What kind of content worked on there for you? Well, you still post. What content works for you on there?
I like to. People are very stuck up and very serious in their job, and I like to remind people that hey, you can enjoy it too. You can make some jokes. You can laugh. You can enjoy working. But a lot of motivational stuff about the journey, and just showing I like to show that it's humans behind businesses. A lot of people think of businesses or corporations as like these evil monsters. It's like, hey, it's actual people you're talking to. So remember, no matter what corporation you're talking to, end of the day, you're talking to a person. So try to humanize business.
Talk about pivoting and starting out in one direction where it seems like a lot of startups get it wrong the first time and pivot to something totally different. And that's the thing that worked.
Of course. I mean, we've pivoted so much.
Have you?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
My core belief is you only lose when you give up. So as long as you never give up, you can never lose. I'm still playing the game. It's not over yet. I'm just changing it up. But once you walk off the field and you quit, you're done. So it's all about reinventing yourself. The first idea is never the best idea. Everything changes. It does. We started by selling bright printed socks. Now we sell super comfortable joggers, shirts, hoodies, very different product categories, very different brand as it's evolved. You just have to keep evolving and growing. You can't be stale. And that's my thing when people say, I'm doing the same thing every day, it's not working. Well, then don't do the same thing every day. Switch it up a little bit. Try something new. Try something out of your comfort zone. Try to do something that you didn't think was possible or you don't think you'd be good at and see what happens. Like worst case, you learn.
Yeah.
And just as long as you keep trying and putting yourself out there, people will see that, you will learn, and you'll be successful.
What advice do you have for that aspiring entrepreneur out there or the new entrepreneur? Kind of a similar mindset where either they want, like me, like I wanted to start something, but I have no idea what to do, and I just am killing day after day and year after year, and this is kind of slipping away. Or you're that young entrepreneur who started your business and you're failing, and it's 2 months into it, 3 months into it, you're discouraged. You don't see this ever working, but you're not sure what else to do. Talk about persistence and how important that is.
Yeah, I think it's just expanding how long you think you're going to work on something. So if you say, hey, I'm committing to this for the next year, I'm going to make it work. And it's just like burn the ships. Like when you travel somewhere, you get there, burn the ships, and you're not going back.
Nope, nowhere to go.
No going back.
Burn the bridge behind you.
Burn the bridge behind you. You're there. You have to continue going. Once you have that mentality, you'll keep going. You'll find a way. If it was life or death, you would find a way. So you just have to get that mentality and just keep pushing and just know that I think people see success. They see a headline of startup gets a unicorn valuation within 3 years. And they think, oh, shoot, that's a person's first startup. They had a good idea. They got $1 billion valuation. It was easy. It's like not the case at all. It's so freaking difficult. Everyone has these journeys, and just learn from your journeys and just keep going.
You know what? I never look at notes, Taylor. I'm so professional. But I don't want to get this wrong. I saw you had a great post on LinkedIn I want to talk about.
Cool.
Speaking of, how hard it is, just talking about rejection. I applied to 10 different colleges, got rejected from 9 out of 10 of them. In college, I applied to 1,000 internships and got rejected from 999 of them, which is a horrible success rate.
Yeah, I was not employable, as most people knew, besides me.
You applied to Shark Tank 7 years in a row and been rejected every year. Applied to the Forbes 30 under 30 list for 5 years ago, got rejected 4 out of 5 times. It was actually pretty good to get on the list after only 5 years. And this one, which blew me away. I've talked to over 500 investors who have rejected me. So Shark Tank people are passing on you. 500 investors are telling you no.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, what was the reason? What didn't they see?
It's hard to actually get good feedback. Most people just say like, not now, it's not a fit. Most investors say, oh, we're not making investments right now.
They won't tell you why.
Yeah, I'm like, bullshit, you are.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for me, is to try to like create a safe environment to get really positive feedback from people. So you actually get that feedback and you can learn from it. So not making them uncomfortable. Come on, why don't you invest in me? I'm so angry. Thank you so much for the chat. Now, if I did come back to you in 6 months, and what would pique your interest if something changed in this business? And that's when you get just figuring out how to get better feedback, and then go do it. Like you can just kind of figure out what you need to do that way. And then it's just the belief that like you only need one. You only need to get on Shark Tank once. You only need to get on Fort. Like nobody remembers the failures. They only remember the success. Yep. You could fail like 100 years in a row and then win 1 year and you're a champion, right? So just having that belief, like the failures actually, once you get that win, the failures don't matter.
So talk about financing. So that initial run you did, because financing is always a part of a business, right? You need money whenever you're starting anything, whether it's small or a big tech company. So when you met Parker and you guys bought all those socks at TJ Maxx and stuff, I'm guessing you just used money from your previous t-shirt business, right? You had cash, you went out and did it, right?
Yep.
When did you start needing money, and why did you need money from investors to grow?
Yeah, you get to this point where you have decisions. You can grow Bootstrapped, which is like you keep reinvesting your profits a lot slower, or you could put some fuel on the fire and raise some capital. So we wanted to grow fast. We wanted to be big. And that's when we started raising capital. We ended up raising $1 million, I think, when we were like 23 or 24 with the business. Scaled with that, had a lot of lessons, burnt through a lot of that cash.
What'd you do with the $1 million?
Not the best things. Like, no, we made really bad inventory purchases. Yeah. We grew our team too large with a lot of friends, and we realized you can't really employ friends. There's issues there. We got into bad deals, and that's what happens when you're young. They were learning lessons. From there, we learned we really had to grow a profitable business, and so from that point on, we became profitable, and it was really important for us to be profitable. And if we did want to raise, which we did just do a small fundraising round the past couple of months, it's to open these stores. It's for very specific things. But to me, it's always been build a profitable, good company that doesn't need external validation from any investor to give you, so you're not relying on anyone.
In an ideal world, would you have bootstrapped it yourself, or you don't have the patience, you want success?
Yeah, I think looking back, it's interesting. It depends on the business. Some businesses are really good to be bootstrapped. Some are really good you need to raise capital for. In the ideal world, I liked the exact journey we went on because it got me here. So I would have done it all exactly the same.
Do you have any advice from people who are starting a business and starting to make money? I mean, obviously save or treat yourself at the same time. How do you kind of balance doing both?
I think you could treat yourself in certain categories. Like I've never been one to go buy designer things or things that I think I needed validation from, but it's treating myself in food. So like the first thing I did that was a big step for me is like never look at the price of anything on the menu. Get what I want and what's healthy and what will make me feel good. So like don't think twice about having avocado if I want avocado. Like don't think twice about going to a place that like going to Sweetgreen and getting a salad versus going to Subway and getting a sandwich. Like the Sweetgreen salad's more healthy and it's gonna make me feel better. Go there. So that was the first thing. Like don't think twice about how you're fueling your body. It's extremely important. And then just breaking it off from there of like, where are you comfortable spending cash in?
Okay.
So with feet and where we're at now is we're trying to make the world more comfortable physically with our clothing. I didn't realize too, wearing uncomfortable clothes, I'm very sensitive to clothing. I put on a suit and tie, I become a shell of myself and I become rigid and my personality changes. Yeah. Like, so we're trying to make clothes that are so comfortable that you can wear anywhere. And then we also do a lot of mental stuff on the comfort level. So we have breath work, meditation, and yoga in our store. We have a massive area in the back, so you have to come join us.
Yeah, absolutely. I do Transcendental Meditation for years. So
amazing. So
20 minutes twice a day.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing that in store,
okay.
Which is gonna be awesome. We do a lot of like our email and newsletters. We're talking about like how to understand your diet, how to not check your phone for 30 minutes when you wake up, and what a difference of tone that sets. Too many people, they wake up, they check their phone right away, they wake up anxious. Oh, what emails do I have to catch up on? Oh, what I miss on social? Oh, wait, this person was at a party last night, I wasn't there. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, wait, who else was at the party?
The first thing I do when I wake up. Before I work out. It's like I'm working out in the morning. I woke up early to work out, but like I can't work out right away. I need like coffee and I need to wake up. So I'm just watching Netflix and just scrolling through my phone, looking at my emails.
Bad.
Especially first thing in the morning, because you're setting the tone for the day.
Stress. You're setting the tone of stress.
Yes.
Like my 30 minutes when I wake up, I set my blinds. They open like 1% every 30 minutes. So it like slowly wakes me up, which is nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I I don't check my phone, and I go for a little walk around the neighborhood. Just like most people haven't, just being present. Life is so simple. It's not difficult. Be here, be present. So that's what we're really trying to communicate with the brand. And that's a journey I've been on that's helped me be more comfortable in the world and enjoy it better. And we're trying to help other people enjoy the ride.
Is it important now to be more than just an apparel company, more than just selling you cool socks or cool, pants?
Yeah.
Is it important now to also care about your customers' mental health and take them along the journey that maybe you, the founders, or you as people at the company are going through?
Yeah. I don't know if it's as important for the brand as it's important for me. Of I have this platform and I have a message that is so powerful that has changed my life so much. And we have a platform that can reach millions of people. How can I not be using this platform to try to change people? And if I can get one person listening or watching this right now to not check their phone for 30 minutes and get on that pattern, that's enough. Because that is, I know the impact that has. So it comes from me and I'm just like, with clothes, I have this platform. I have this ability to reach people and share a message. I have to do that.
Use it for good.
I have to.
Yeah.
And because I know you could see people who are struggling. And unfortunately, most people are struggling, especially in Los Angeles, especially in the Western world, especially in the United States.
And no one shows it on social media.
And
Everything's
no one talks
perfect.
about it.
I'm great. I look beautiful. I've got the right lighting. I look good.
But people are stressed all the time.
Yep.
Life for most people is actually, they're constraining themselves for how good it could be. And they work 9 to 5, they're drinking caffeine or something, and they're not happy during their work time. They get off work, they go get belligerently drunk, so they don't have to think about work, and they do this cycle, and they scroll social media, and they order fast food. You don't have to be on that cycle.
Yeah.
You can go enjoy, work doesn't have to be negative in your mind. It could be a very positive thing where you're hanging out with your friends and interacting.
Yeah, this is fun to me. This is work.
And this is so fun.
How fun is this?
And you can create your reality. You create your reality, not someone else. So I want to encourage people to if you're not comfortable where you're at right now, if you're not fully comfortable, just make these little changes. It's not a lot. These little things. Don't check your phone. Eat really healthy food and understand what you're eating. Understand what you're putting in your body. Yep. Take a second for yourself. Go for a walk without your phone. Be in nature. All these little things that make a big difference.
So that's a good message. Coming from a successful entrepreneur, you're basically saying, don't work 12 hours a day straight, sit at your laptop. You're saying, go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
get off your phone for a half hour. Take a break. Go for a walk.
I think it's important for the longevity. That being said, there are points where you need to sprint, and that's okay. Yeah. But just be mindful about what you're sprinting and what you're doing. And the input you're putting in doesn't always equal the output. So make sure that hey, am I doing the most important thing? Being conscious with your time, being conscious with should I have done that? No? Okay. Is this gonna bring me additional value? And also being conscious of yourself and knowing that your body's gonna break down. You cannot work that much. You can't. And as much as you want to be a machine and you want to be Elon Musk who works 16 hours a day and sleeps in his factory, there's only one of him. And that's actually not, if that's what you want, great. But that used to be my goal where I'm going to be that business mogul, whatever. But I'm I actually don't want that. I want to live a very well-rounded life. Yeah. I want to, have a really good relationship and raise an amazing family. I want to enjoy the arts and I want to enjoy playing sports and I want to enjoy having fun with my friends. I don't want a one-dimensional life. That's not the goal. And I think society puts this word success on people and only looking at one facet of it, the dollars. This guy's successful because he made hundreds of millions or billions of dollars.
But he's divorced 6 times.
Of course.
He's went through bankruptcy.
Yeah. He's got a drug problem.
He's got lawsuits against him.
He doesn't sleep at night. To me, I'm
yeah.
What? But that's what society says is successful. Whereas to me, success is the person that when you meet them, they have good energy. They're happy, they can sleep well at night, they take care of themselves, and they're willing to just give good energy to people. To me, you are so successful. Your energy is unreal.
It's
great. You have a smile on your face, you're excited to be here. It's pleasant to hang out with you.
I like
spend time with you.
Talking to people. And it's funny, I talked before about LeBron James and him knowing at 14, what he was destined to do. It took me 40 years to figure out what I'm good at. And I'm really only good at one thing. I can't even put together IKEA furniture. I have to call out TaskRabbit, which is a great site, free plug to TaskRabbit, to have some guy come over. I got a guy coming over to hang pictures because we just painted our house. I can't do anything else. Yep. I am good at talking with people. That's it.
Yep.
And all you really need, I think everybody has a superpower. It's just a matter of finding yours, and it's trial and error. Again, most people aren't LeBron James and aren't going to figure it out when they're 14. Some people aren't going to figure out what theirs is until they're 35, and may not come up with that business idea that they've always wanted to figure out until they're 50.
Yeah.
But if you keep trying,
it's fine. It takes time.
It takes time.
Keep trying, and it takes time with yourself. And I think a lot of people push back the runway to find out what it is they're good at, because any free second they have, they're uncomfortable, and they just put on Instagram, Netflix, this, that, distractions. So you're actually not spending time thinking about, what do I like doing? Who am I? What do people like about me? And it's like spending time in your head, especially in this hustle culture, it's just like, oh, you're doing nothing? What a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, just sitting here thinking is the best use of my time.
Yeah.
And like a 20 or 30 or hour, 20 to 30 minute or hour block of doing nothing is the best thing for me and the best thing for my business.
Yeah.
Because I could think. And like, you have to spend more time in your head. People are so scared to spend time in your head. And there's so many pacifiers left and right, whether it's your phone, whether it's calling someone, whether it's watching something. Just sit in your head and be comfortable with it. There's so much to learn.
I think you've got a great message. Now let's get to the good stuff, okay? You opened your first retail store.
Yeah.
Why mess with retail? Why bother with the overhead and having the staff and all of this when you obviously figured out the kind of online model?
Yep.
Why mess with retail? It seems like a bunch of headaches to me.
It definitely is a bunch of headaches. So I'm not gonna underplay how difficult it was in building out the store. The thing with retail, which gets me really excited, is a physical presence in real life. So in the digital world, I can only say so much. I can only do so much. There's something about being able to say, hey, come to the space, come do yoga with us. Come here, we're putting a box at the front of the store. Everyone puts their phone in the box. It's a no phone zone. Be here for an hour without your phone, just being with people, being
that's
present.
cool.
So doing things like that I couldn't do just in the digital world. So that's what gets me excited about these retail experiences. Can I build these experiences to show people, hey, look, like you could be comfortable in a social setting without your phone. Hey, you could do yoga. Hey, you don't have to feel stressed all the time. Hey, this could be like whatever this is. So I'm excited to build out a lot of stores all over the world and really show the world like, look, you could be here, you could look someone in the eye, you could smile. It's a comfortable, safe space for everyone. And let's create that. So that's what gets me really excited.
You know, I think you had a great message, not just for entrepreneurs and great tips for them, but just how to live a balanced life, especially as an entrepreneur, if you have a job that you're working long hours in, like how important that is. I think that's a great message that you gave, and I'm excited to get done. I've got to go to your store, throw my phone in the no phone zone, and go buy some comfortable clothes. Make sure everybody checks out. If you're in LA, go to a Santa Monica store, the Feet Clothing store in Santa Monica, and go to feetclothing.com to get the most comfortable apparel out there in the world.
The softest clothing, most comfortable clothing in the world.
Okay, I messed it up, but that's what the tagline's supposed to be. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss an interview. We do these every Tuesday at 10 a.m. interviews with the biggest entrepreneurs in the world. Next week, we've got Charlie D'Amelio. Yes, she's the #2 most followed person on TikTok. She used to be 1 for a long time. She's 2 now, but that's still pretty good. She's the highest earning person on TikTok. And we're gonna learn about all her businesses and how she's an incredible businesswoman. Then we've got Sean Rad, the founder of Tinder. So entrepreneurs from all walks of life. So check it out. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, guys.